A friend of mine, a congregant going through a job transition, told me that job interview questions are fairly predictable. This friend and, as I said, community member, wished that he could be the interviewer to ask the following out-of-the-blue question. If you could be a superhero, who would you be and why? He said that if he had been asked that question, the answer would not even be a contest. I expected him to answer Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, The Flash, even Wonder Woman for her heroics. But he answered a different DC Comics character I knew very little about. Green Lantern. Why Green Lantern, or GL as the hero is sometimes referred to? Because unlike Superman or other members of the Justice League, GL had no superpower. He was mortal and human, not superhuman. What GL possessed was a power ring, a ring granted him by the guardians of the universe to do good and to protect the earth as other Green Lanterns, the agents of the Guardians, did for other planets and solar systems. GL received that ring and mission because he was chosen for his strength, moral strength as well as physical. The ring had to be charged at the lantern, which GL kept at a particular location, and it had to be charged once every 24 hours to continue to be effective, like an electric car. When GL charged the ring to the lantern, which we are told was connected to the power of the universe, he had to recite this oath, which my friend suggests is like a prayer. And the oath goes like this when he's charging. In brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light. And just one more odd thing. The power ring was ineffective against anything colored yellow. Now, while a chemical reason is given for this, my friend reads it metaphorically because, get this, yellow corresponds to cowardice. Thus, Green Lantern was limited, as it were, by his own fears and human failings, like we all are, and had to rise above those fears to fulfill his mission. When the chips were down, the fate of the world was on the line, the Justice League was being defeated by some unconquerable enemy, it was the mortal man with the power ring, the human, who could rise above himself to tap into the power of the universe and save the day. So my friend Steve says, and I want to quote, I wanted to be Green Lantern from the time I was a boy. I still do. And here's the great thing. We can all be Green Lanterns if we learn to use our talents and strengths to improve and hopefully set an example for others and have the strength of character to summon the courage necessary to deal with whatever fears we face. Friends, what makes this a deeply Jewish story, among other things, is that the heroes of Judaism, whether it's Moses standing at the foot of Mount Sinai this week in the Torah, or whether it's Abraham, Deborah, even King David, all of our Jewish heroes are not superheroes. They are flawed human beings, mortal, not gods. We don't have to be superheroes to be heroic, and we don't have to have a power ring to tap into the energy and power that lifts our spirits and makes us be our best selves, or even better. We don't even need to carry a lantern. We can each be one. Just one more comment from this former Sunday school teacher in search of a job. He says, Rabbi, Imagine if everyone was a Green Lantern in his or her own way. The power for good that could harness. Just imagine. It can be done. It's within our reach. I think this friend is right. If a religious life does not stand on a base of human concern, harnessing a concern for other people, like this week's Torah portion, 4 times, if somebody around you, anywhere near you, is poor, help them. If a religious life doesn't stand on that basis, a concern for other people, then it has no base whatsoever. We're summoned as Jews and as human beings to work for the redemption of those who are suffering, enslaved, or neglected. Just one final story before I close. It's from the Talmud, from the tractate Chagiga. If you want to read it in the Hebrew, we're told a wonderful story I'm going to shorten. This guy, Rabbi, one of the rabbis, and Rabbi Chia, they're journeying, and they arrive at a certain town, and they ask the people in the town, if there is a rabbinical scholar here, we would like to pay him a visit. And the inhabitants of the town say, there is indeed such a scholar here, but one thing, he is blind. So when they finish their meeting, I'm shortening the story, with this blind, anonymous scholar, the unnamed sage, the blind guy, gives them a blessing. You came to pay your respects to one who is seen, but does not see. May you merit to pay your respects to the one who sees, but is not seen. Attending to the invisible is our job and the job of Alan Scott and Hal Jordan, who become the Green Lantern. Ordinary people like you and me. Attending to the invisible is the job of each of us. An invisible God, invisible people, invisible causes, people whom we choose to make invisible or we simply overlook. That's what I mean about Memorial Day, when everybody goes on vacation and there are little flags in their yard and we don't think about who died for that flag. The prophets of Israel, in closing, I remind you, they do not condemn ritual. They condemn any ritual divorced from morality, ritual quarantine from exclusion, ritual severed from service. They condemn it in the strongest language as an offense to God, no matter what your personal politics or tastes. The Torah and its traditions are tools designed to render the invisible visible in our midst. The God of Israel bids us to see those who are unseen and ignored. The Green Lantern helps them. We don't even need to go there. It's in our presence. We don't need a God hero to burst onto the stage of the world and save us. We need to become the lights of goodness, justice, equality, and morality for God to become visible in the world. And let us say, Amen. Shabbat Shalom.